It's funny that you still look the same.
Head's the same size.
Yeah, it still got the big old head.
Why? Like what? Like what do I do?
The most rewarding summer has begun. Fanatics Sportsbook is pulling out all the stops all summer long. Tickets to the biggest sporting events, merch giveaways, bet and gets, and more. Plus, earn fan cash back on bets, win or lose. Earlier this summer, they gave away 40 tickets to the NBA Finals, hotels and airfare included. Download the Fanatics Sportsbook app and check daily to see what reward is going to drop. And have yourself an awesome summer. Compliments of the most rewarding sportsbook. Terms including fan cash apply. Must be 21 and over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut? Call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts? Call 800-327-5050. New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY. West Virginia? Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. Maryland? Visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Please play responsibly.
Welcome back to another episode of the Roommates Podcast presented by Fanatics Sportsbooks, where the vibes stay immaculate. I'm here, obviously, with Jalen Brunson, and we got Maddie somewhere, wherever he is at this point. We got an amazing guest today, Knicks/NBA legend, NBA Hall of Famers, Patrick Ewing, who has a big list of accolades. So let's see if I can get through some of them. 11-time NBA All-Star, All-NBA first team, 6-time All-NBA second team. You did that once. Congratulations. 3-time All-Defensive second team, NBA Rookie of the Year, All-Rookie team, NBA Anniversary team. Got his number retired, NCAA champion. Been to the Final Four, obviously, most outstanding player. Good Lord, College Player of the Year, 3-time consensus All-American. Good Lord, this is a long list. Damn, Pat. 2-time Big East Player of the Year, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. You don't have any of those, but I do. And that's a long enough list. You got it. You were a McDonald's All-American.
You don't have any of that. You don't have a McDonald's All-American, but I do.
I didn't even eat McDonald's growing up, so I didn't care to. I was more of a Burger King guy myself.
And we can't forget Olympic gold medalist.
Olympic gold medalist. So that was the longest list of accolades of anybody on the show. So congratulations for that.
Pat, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, fellas. I appreciate that. I don't even remember half those stuff that's on that list, but I'm happy to be. Nice. I feel like I'm outnumbered right now with all these Nova guys on here. But we're gonna have some fun because you guys are Knicks now.
Well, since you opened the door, I saw there's you're a College Player of the Year in 1985. If you read that right, it was National Championship in 1984, right?
Yeah, it wasn't 85.
Right. It wasn't 85.
No.
Who won in 85?
Some school. The Wild. I think Ed Pickney's on that team.
The Big Brothers. The Big Brothers won it that year.
Oh, right.
I still can't watch that game. Easier now. We're like this. Dwayne McClain, those guys. We played against each other in high school. I still cannot watch that game.
I mean, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to watch it either. Like,
not at all. You got one though. Not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah, we've got one. It should have been 3, but we got one. I'll take it.
Pat, I do want to ask you this question because we had John Starks on a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about the time he tried to dunk on you in practice. And obviously you shaking your head. I got to hear your side of the story, because you know he gonna make it seem, you know, probably a little, you know, more than what it was. But what you got to say?
Well, you know how John is. We were practicing, and they were gonna make cuts that day, and they were going to cut him. But back then, if you get hurt, they can't cut you until after you get better. So he tried to dunk on me, and I tried to take his head off. Fortunately, but unfortunately, he got hurt, and by the time you know, he got healthy and was ready to come back, all these other guys were hurt, so they had to keep him, and that opened the door for him to have, you know, one of the great careers in our history.
Dang. You know what? New York should thank you for injuring him, because you did them a favor.
He did us. That did all of us a favor. You know, he was definitely one of my best teammates to play with. One thing I loved about him is the fact that he wore his heart on his sleeve, night in, the same, just like you guys, the way that you guys play. He's going to give it his all. And I love that about him.
All right, fellas, today we're going to play a game of What's Most Rewarding presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. I'm going to say some dreamed up scenarios, and you guys tell me what you think is the most rewarding and why. And anyone feel free to jump in. A highlight assist or a highlight bucket for yourself?
For sure, bucket. I think everyone's saying bucket here.
I think everyone's saying bucket.
Yeah, you know I'm going to say bucket.
Jalen, a highlight bucket or a highlight charge drawn?
Highlight bucket, man. Charges, man. It's like, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to do it, but then it's like an instinct.
But you do it every time.
Like right when I see it's about to happen, I'm like, damn.
Would you rather play against your childhood sports idol in their prime or have them as a mentor / advisor or friend now?
Ooh.
I would rather play against my childhood idol. And my idol was Steve Nash.
Steve Nash. I'll say the same. Mine is D. Wade. So I feel like that would have been fun.
Oh, that would have been
But Jalen, it must have been cool for you playing with D. Rose.
Yeah. No, that was
Chicago.
That was I can't even explain what that was like, man. I just like being able to know who he was back then, and then playing with him last year was unreal because I got to learn a lot, just like as a teammate, not just as an idol and someone giving you advice, but like someone with you every day, talking through you. May not have been X's and O's, but like he was helping me mentally all the time, and that was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
To me, my childhood hero was Pelé, so there was totally different sports. So maybe as an advisor.
Hey, brother, you could have been out. You could have been out there.
You've been a hell of a
goalie, center back.
As a fan, what's more rewarding, the 50-yard line at the Super Bowl or watching courtside at the NBA?
Courtside,
for sure,
without a doubt.
You're so much closer to it.
Or who's performing at the Super Bowl? I feel like that kind of goes into it.
Who's performing?
Iggy.
What are you doing?
What?
Why are you this way?
Well, I was just saying, Iggy, she's a really big entertainer. So I was just saying, 50-yard line at the Super Bowl, halftime, Iggy performing, or courtside. I was remember because that's one of your favorite artists.
If the Eagles in the Super Bowl, I'm there.
I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, I'm there. Good save.
I'm going to say courtside for me.
I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I said courtside first, and then now I'm being pressured into saying Super Bowl. So
I was just saying because that's your favorite artist, bro, or Justin Bieber.
Oh, I'm there.
Justin Bieber would be.
I'm there. I'm there.
This summer, some of the best sporting events are heating up with Fanatics Sportsbook, the most rewarding summer. And to get things started, the Fanatics Sportsbook are giving away 40 tickets to the NBA Finals, plus travel expenses will be covered. Simply head to Fanatics Sportsbook and opt in for your chance to win. Keep your eyes peeled for some surprise and delight ticketing opportunities. With the most rewarding sportsbook, you can also get up to 5% fan cash back on your bets. Spend fan cash on jerseys, bonus bets, fan gear, and more. It's going to be a party with the Fanatics Sportsbook this summer. Obviously, you mentioned the similarities between the way that John plays and the way that some of these guys play, but how would you compare, maybe take like the favorite Knicks team that you ever played on? How would you compare that to this most recent Knicks team in terms of the personnel, the coaching? Like, what were the similarities? What were the differences?
What I love about this team, or what I would compare this team to our team, is the fact that their togetherness, the way that they play, their defense. They're the heart and the soul of the city. They're blue collar guys. They bring their hard hats and their Timberlands to every game. I love that about them, and I think that was one of the things that why the city loved us so much, is the fact that we are a lot like them. A lot like the city. Even though you have all these, Wall Street guys and actors and actresses, the majority of the Knicks fans were those guys that's building those skyscrapers and just down in the grind.
Pat, what do you think about the Josh Hart, John Starks comparisons? Does Josh wear number 3 faithfully?
Oh, definitely, he does. He wears his heart on his sleeve, just like John. He's a great shooter. He's a great defender. I would
great shooter.
I would love to be able to play with these guys. That it would be an honor for me to be able to play with guys like them. Jalen, with his ability to score and also make plays, I think it'll be an honor for me to play with them.
I'm refraining from just talking about Georgetown and Villanova. Just every time you speak, I'm just like
Jalen. JB,
yeah, Matt.
Are you guys an NBA Finals team this year with Pat on the floor as your 5? No offense to Isaiah, of course. Isaiah's a great player.
Damn, how am I supposed to answer that now about Isaiah? Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, if we have an NBA Hall of Famer on the court, yes. No matter what position the player's at, yes. I think so.
I think that everyone on your team, they know their role. They play their role to the best of their ability. You guys play great off each other. It's like you guys have a sixth sense. Y'all know when to pass, know when to shoot, know when to get the hell out of the way and let Jalen do his thing, and vice versa. That's what I love about this group. Tom Thibodeau is a very good coach. I coach. He was on the coaching staff when I played. I coached with him in Houston. He's a friend. I think that management has done a very good job of assembling a great cast to play alongside you. The rest is history. If those guys didn't get hurt, anything is possible. I think you guys would have beaten Indiana, and it would be, a battle to see. And the way that you guys play, I think that you could beat Boston.
My next question for you. Oh man, I just had it. I'm lost. I lost it. Damn.
You gotta bring your P's and Q's, brother.
And,
Pat, question. Listen. Who would you say? I won't say starting 5 because that's tough. Most influential Knicks legend. Who do you think they are?
I got my question. All right. No, I'll wait.
For me, the most influential Knicks legend that I had the ability or opportunity to be around was the Bush. was Willis. Willis was one of our greatest players. Clyde. Both of those two guys, you know, they won 2 championships together. Willis was the man in the middle, and I'm the center. I play the center position. But those two guys, their knowledge of the game and the things that they were accomplished on the floor. And I also got to say Earl the Pearl. Earl was an integral part of that team.
My post-game, post-workout ritual always starts with Tommy John, the most comfortable underwear I've ever worn. Me personally, I like 0 distractions. So if it's lightweight, comfortable, that's what I need. You see why they call it second skin? That's a good way to describe the perfect fit. Once you get yours, you'll see why Tommy John sold over 20 million pairs of their high-quality underwear. With thousands of 5-star reviews, Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. Like me. Get 20% off your order right now and save 25% off on second skin at TommyJohn.com/roomies.
Just to bounce back on what you were saying before, I got some interesting things to say about Tom Thibodeau. I think,
do tell.
No, I just think that he gets a lot of criticism about things that happened in the past that kind of, I guess you can say, in or out of his control. But I want to know, what was it like back then having Thibs in the locker room? You've seen him then, and you see him now. What was he like back then?
Oh, it was definitely the same. But, you know, it's funny because I'm watching TV, and I see all the negative criticism that he's been getting. And as a player, who wanted to be on the floor at all times, there's no way in heck he was going to be able to take me off the floor. They're asking, you know, why didn't he take these guys off the floor at this particular time? Why didn't this happen? It's easy to be a Monday morning quarterback. It's easy to be the person that's on TV doing the analysis of the game. But as a player, as a person who wanted to be on the floor or wanted my guys to be on the floor with me, I think they're wrong. I think the criticism are wrong. Now Thibs, he's a workaholic. He's going to be in the office 24/7. Sometimes, when we coached together in Houston, we lived in the same apartment building, and I had to go drag him out of his house sometimes to get him to do other things other than just watch film and try to be prepared for the next day.
Patrick, that's what we have to do with Josh. All Josh wants to do is watch film.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
you just watch this film all day.
I know you're pulling my leg.
I'm a big film guy, bro.
Is that right, Josh?
Hell no, it ain't right.
What you mean, bro? I watch film.
No.
Sometimes.
Okay. Now we're getting more to the truth.
He watches cinema, not film.
No, hey, look, I watch, playing for Jeff Van Gundy, playing for Pat Riley, they were very strict about us watching film. We used to travel with, of course, these days it's all on the computer. We used to travel with a VHS, a TV, all this in a big box. And our video, every trip, our luggage would come, and then this box would come with the tapes and everything of all this stuff that we had to watch. At some point, I told our video guy, say, look, stop bringing me. It's already halfway. It's halfway through the season. We have already played everybody X amount of time. I know what they're going to do. I know how they're going to play me. It's not like they're going to be it's not the playoffs, so they're making changes. I told them, stop bringing me this dang box. I'm not going to watch any more tape. I'm not watching any more tape. But, so, I think Jalen Rose came out with this thing that he stole my TV. I think that's one of the TVs that he stole.
Pat, what's a VHS?
Come on, man. I know you're not that young.
There's going to definitely be some listeners thinking that.
Oh yeah, I know. It's a tape. You know,
I know
now
what VHS is.
You went from like, you know, when I was coming up, we went from cassette tapes to CDs to Walkman to those, you know, those tapes. Now everything is done all by Wi-Fi. So, you know, that's part of my growth is to learn how to navigate the way that things are now. All you guys do is just hit the email and see. Look how long it took me to get on this.
It took you about
this show today.
20 minutes.
It took me like 20 minutes. And my son, my oldest son, Patrick Jr., he's my IT guy. He's not. Unfortunately, he's in Australia right now. So it's 2 here now. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. So I couldn't call him and get him to help me out.
Pat, one thing obviously you mentioned is some of the coaches that you've gotten a chance to play for throughout your career. Obviously dating back even to college with John Thompson, you played for some great coaches. How would you compare each of them and their styles, and what did you maybe take from each of those different coaches?
You know, I've had the opportunity to play for some great coaches. You know, and I just named a few, and Pat Riley, Jeff Van Gundy, John Thompson, Mike Jarvis in high school. Then, you know, all these other coaches that I played for in the NBA. And most of them, the majority of them, I enjoyed playing for. There were some of them where we butted heads and we did not get along. But then once I became a coach and once I found out that I wanted to be a coach, I think I borrowed from all of them. You know, I borrowed from Coach Thompson and his camaraderie, the way that he tries to protect his players and shield them from all the different things that's going on, and also teaching them about life. And then, you know, Pat Riley, Jeff Van Gundy, and then, you know, Tom Thibodeau, who I coached with, Steve Clifford, you know, Brian James, Johnny Bach, all these coaches that I was able to work with, Stan Van Gundy. You know, you borrow bits and pieces from them to help mold your, you know, I consider myself part of their tree. I try to borrow from all of them and learn, take all the good things that they do, that I consider them doing good, and try to discard what I did not like to add to what I believe.
Big John was the guy. He was the guy. He used to be at all them Kenner League games.
Big John, his chair's still in the gym, right? At the practice gym, right?
Yes, it's still there. You know, I'm not there anymore, but of course, when I was there, it was still there.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
You know, he's the reason why Georgetown became Georgetown.
Right. I remember we had practice there one time. I think it was last year. And I think someone sat in that chair. And someone came by. I was like, "Don't sit in that chair! Don't sit in that chair!" I was like, "Oh yeah, that gotta be his chair right there."
Yeah, that big wooden chair. Hey, look, we had some practices, boy. When I'm a freshman, and I consider myself a great athlete. I could run. I thought I could run for days. And you know, coming from high school to college, you know, of course, it's a lot different. And this day, he ran the hell out of us. He ran us. I'm like, oh my God, is this shit gonna stop? He's sitting in that chair, you know, he's slumped over with whistle in his mouth, towel over his shoulder, blowing the whistle. I'm like, oh my God. I thought I was in shape.
I don't think.
No,
we didn't used to run in college.
He was a great coach. Mm-hmm. Not only a great coach, but he was a great role model. He was a person that I could emulate and try to be.
That's what's up.
JB, obviously we have to perform at a high level. How does your diet allow you to perform at that level?
The cleaner you eat, the better it is for you to recover faster, move faster, feel better, have more energy in the morning when you wake up. Plant-based foods, implementing that into my diet has definitely helped with recovery.
I try to do a little bit more this season. you know, for me, implementing it is kind of like the same. Like, I feel like I'm not, you know, as sore after, you know, some of these games, or the inflammation is not as much. It's cool to see how diet, nutrition really go hand in hand with high-level performance. So one thing I am actually very excited about is the new Beyond Burger. Obviously made with avocado oil, so healthier, 21 grams of protein, and obviously the great taste. I'm excited to put the Beyond Burger into my diet.
No, it's clean. We love this new Beyond Burger so much that we're sharing the love with you guys. Go to beyondmeat.com/roomies to get a free 2-pack today.
I feel like, obviously, being a top recruit out of the DC area, I remember Georgetown, I don't want to say they fumbled their recruitment of you, but I remember you kind of wanted to go there and they were late to the ball game. Am I remembering that correctly?
No, so they were Georgetown. Yeah,
Georgetown,
so
for Josh. They
were early. I used to go to all the Saturday, you know, early Saturday morning open gyms. My junior year, sophomore and junior year, used to go to all the games. And then I told him I wanted to wait before I committed. I wanted to go through my last summer of AAU and et cetera. And then JT3 was like, all right, stop recruiting him. Like, he don't want to come here, stop recruiting him. And then after that, I was, you know, once I told them that, they just disappeared. And then they try to come back, you know, towards the end, and it was like, all right, like, nah, I'm done. Y'all got rid of me before. And actually, so yeah, they were early, and then, you know, JT3 got mad about that one. So, but that was my dream school at one point. You know, watching them when I was younger, especially that Jeff Green, Roy Hibbert years, and then you got Chris Wright, Austin Freeman, Jason Clark, Hollis Thompson, all those guys. So, they fumbled that one.
Well, you know, as coaches, we make mistakes. That's one thing you learn about being a coach. Is that sometimes, especially as a college coach, there are guys that you think you're going to have an opportunity to get that you don't get, or you think they're going to be this good and they don't turn out to be as good as you thought they were going to be. And I would say, yes, we messed up on your recruiting. Hey, look, I tell Rick this: if I knew Jalen was going to be as great as he became, and I knew I wanted to coach, I would have been recruiting him from when we played together. Jalen was always hanging around me, always in my locker, always messing with the ball, doing everything by my locker. If I knew I was going to coach and I knew he was going to be as good as he became, I would have been recruiting him from back then. And unfortunately, I had to coach against his butt and y'all's team for the 2 years I got my ass kicked.
Yeah, I don't think I lost the game against you. I don't think I lost to Georgetown.
Yeah, I know. Don't bring it up. I just admit that you kicked my butt for 2 years, so don't start.
You're right. My fault. Respect. My fault.
I think I lost to them once.
I'll never forget. Wait. I remember when you guys lost to Georgetown. We had practice for my high school team. It had to be my senior year, right? And then I come home. My dad's has a game on. You guys are playing at noon. It was like an early game, and they were getting smacked by Georgetown.
Cooked in the Verizon Center.
I was like, oh, damn. They were getting drilled like you usually do, but yeah.
Yeah, that's before my time.
That's crazy, first off. So, Pat, what did it mean for you to coach at Georgetown? Obviously, playing there, having the career you did, being under John Thompson, you know, what did it mean for you to be able to go back and be, you know, the coach of the Georgetown Hoyas?
I thought it was, you know, everything come in full circle. Me being, you know, Coach Thompson always used to talk about that players like me never wanted to come to play for black coaches. And for me to come back and be able to coach a place that I had 4 of the best years of my life, I thought it was great. Coach Thompson was still alive. He would still come into the gym, and sometimes he thought I was still 18, where he would curse me the heck out. And I'm thinking, Coach, I am 50, and you still over here treat me like I'm 18. But I thought it was a great opportunity. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the way that I thought that it would, or hoped that it would. But it was still a great experience. I had a great opportunity to be a head coach and try to do a lot of the things that Coach Thompson did for me to the next generation.
Pat, when you first became a head coach and you sort of had your own team to command, what was like the biggest adjustment for you? Was it the recruiting? Was it the X's and O's? Like what stepping into that role was kind of like the most challenging?
Well, it's funny because when I first got the job, that's all people used to talk about. He's not going to be able to recruit. He's not going to want to recruit. The X and O's, I think that I did my apprenticeship by, I was an assistant coach for 15 years. I coached all the summer league teams in the summers. So I learned, I had some great teachers. I learned how to be a head coach. I learned all the X and O's that I needed to know. And then I also had other people around me, surrounded other people around me who could help if I needed help. But the part of the recruiting that people used to always use as a negative is that because I was a great player, I was not going to want to do all the calls and the Zoom calls and the going in and meeting with the parents that you have to do to try to get these great players. And unfortunately, I was not, the best players that I had the opportunity to coach. Omer York-7, who's I think he's in Utah now. Matt McClung is in the G League. James Akinjo, he's in the G League as well. So those 3 guys, Jesse Govan, Marcus Derrickson, I think those guys are in Europe playing. But those are the most talented guys that I was able to play for. To coach. But I enjoyed it. I thought that, once I said I wanted to be a head coach and I thought I was going to be a head coach in the NBA, I had the opportunity to come back to Georgetown. I thought that I was prepared. And I think that everything that I'd done up to that point helped me to be prepared for what was coming next.
Josh, Marcus Derrickson was a problem at Paul VI.
Marcus Derrickson was tough. He just had bad knees. That's mainly what it was. But he was tough. Post game was able to be a stretch 4. He was cold, bro. He just.
It's funny. I thought he was a better 5 for us than a 4.
Really?
Because he had that toughness. He could stretch the floor. He could he knock down the 3, and he's not going to take crap from anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a throwback name right there.
The DC area is full of names like that where they just had incredible. I mean, still the line is obviously so thin. Still could have incredible careers, and everyone who grew up in the DMV knows who they are. But I guess not a lot of people outside of the area. But I mean, just dogs.
Yeah, DC has been a hotbed for basketball for a lot of years, and it still continues to be.
All right, people, it's time for Ballsy Moves, sponsored by Tommy John. Tommy John makes the most comfortable underwear on the planet.
Comfort is confidence, and Tommy John knows that. I want to talk about someone who's radiating confidence right now, and I would say that's probably Austin Rivers with his 30 NBA players that can play in the NFL. Interesting take.
Are we saying?
But I feel like it's
are we saying playing in the NFL or being successful in the NFL? There's a lot of players who play in the NBA who are not successful. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me.
I
successful to like.
I say make a roster.
Yeah, make a roster versus
For
being
sure.
like a.
Probably more than 30 to make a roster.
More than 30 can make a roster.
Yeah. Actually, Pat, do you think you could have made an NFL roster?
No. No.
I was really about to sit there and be like, yeah, I can see that. Thanks, Pat.
No, nor would I even try. I remember when I came out of when I graduated from Georgetown, the Washington Redskins at that time wanted me to come try out for defensive end. I'm like, are you crazy? I'm the #1 pick, and you want me to come try out for football? Nah.
But you could. I feel like you could have made the team. I feel like you would have been a good DN.
No. Hey, look, I watched, and remember, in my era, football, that was
it was over for you.
It was a little rough. Yeah,
way different than the way they play now. No.
Yeah.
No.
Good
Josh
business
and
decision.
Jalen,
Yes.
What positions would you guys play in football? Like, what position do you think your body types lend best to?
Probably would have been like a tight end. 6'5". I'll have to put some weight on.
I would say, what position I would play? I'm going to say something stupid. I can already sense it.
How tall are you, JB?
6'5" with a good day.
Like you would have had
What do you
the only position you possibly could have been solid at is the quarterback. Because you're not athletic enough or fast enough to be a running back or wide receiver.
Yeah, but
You're not big enough to be
throw some pounds
on a O-line, D-line, linebacker.
I think both of y'all chose the right sport.
I think Jalen has fullback.
Ooh, fullback. Kyle Yusuf? Yes.
I played with Anthony Mason. Would have been could have made definitely done well in the NFL.
Yeah.
They would have been dominant.
Who in today's NBA would translate best besides LeBron?
Ant.
Yeah,
Ant
Edwards.
Receiver or what?
Ant Edwards.
Like a wide
Receiver or like a safety?
Like a Julio Jones type?
Tight end.
Say tight end. I feel like he's too explosive for a tight end.
Georges Niang.
Oh my God,
left guard.
that's crazy. Pat, you weren't even gonna say Charlie Ward.
Well, Charlie did play. He should have got drafted. That's another story. But it is what it is. Charlie would have been a very good quarterback in the NFL. Shoot, he became a solid point guard in the NBA.
Do you think NFL players can make 30 NFL players can make a roster in the NBA?
I'm sure there's a few.
Maybe 5 to 10.
Make a roster?
I'm not sure which ones, but I'm sure there'll be a few that is that great of an athlete to be able to, be like Bo or Dion. They play football and baseball. I'm sure there'll be a few to be able to play football and basketball.
Only 5, you think, really?
Yeah, I don't think they can, bro.
I'm saying there's a lot of players in the league who get drafted off athleticism, and they're on the NBA.
And there's a lot of players, great athletes that play football. So, it's depends on. Are you talking about are they going to be stars or are they going to be role players? So, I'm sure there are a few of them that could do it and be very dominant. I mean, if you look at a lot of them started out playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
True.
But, they chose, for whatever reason, they chose football.
I feel that.
A lot more job opportunities in football than basketball.
Yeah, but it's not as stable as not as stable as
I just said
basketball.
opportunities. I didn't say it was stable. I just said it was opportunities. Go ahead.
I said, no, I was going to say, what's another ballsy move?
I would say something like being roasted, like how Tom Brady was roasted.
Couldn't do it. Sitting there violating.
I'm running away.
So what?
He got paid $25 million.
You get paid $25 million for that?
You can talk about my wife as much as you want if you want to give me $25 million. I'll join with you.
That's what he said after. He was like, ask any divorced man if they would take $25 million to go up there and have people talk about your ex-wife, which is basically what happened.
I'm doing it.
25 M's? Shit.
See, but luckily for you, Josh, and Jalen can attest, we don't have to organize a whole roast for 25 M's. We can just bring Shannon on the podcast and she'll roast you.
Nobody wants to see Shannon on the podcast, bro.
Oh, wow.
Shannon, sweet girl, but just don't want to see her on the pod.
I'm just saying, like, is she gonna roast you for like that?
I take it that Shannon is your wife?
Yep.
No, Shannon runs shit around here. Ain't nothing goes down in this house without Shannon being like, I put my stamp on it.
I can understand that. They are one of my dear friends told me a happy life is a happy wife, so that's why I'm not married.
Pat, don't let Jalen say all this and fool you. He's the exact same. The exact same.
I'm chilling, man. I'm just living life.
He just like you, huh?
Just like, yep.
I think another ballsy move that we talked about is obviously JJ, transitioning from a player to being prolific in the media world, everything he's doing with his own podcast and ESPN, but to now potentially becoming an NBA head coach. Josh, as someone who obviously has a great relationship with JJ, what do you think his style of coaching would be?
He would be an amazing X and O's coach. He would be obviously a player's coach, put guys in the right position to be successful. So he for sure will be a coach in the next couple of years.
Damn, did you just break the news that he's not coaching?
No, I said, did he get a job yet? No, if he doesn't get a job. What you want me to say?
Saying, people can infer that you just broke the news that he's not coaching.
No, I did not say that.
All right.
But he has not gotten a job yet. So if he does not get a job this summer, I feel like either next summer or the summer following, he will for sure have a head coaching job. So I think he'll be a very good coach.
There's definitely two jobs that's still out there, so who knows what's going to happen. I had the opportunity to coach JJ in Orlando. I think he's done an outstanding job with his podcast and being on ESPN. Doc went straight from broadcasting to coaching. I think Jason Kidd did the same as well. If I'm right. There's been a few people that has done it, so anything is possible. Mm-hmm. He has the knowledge. He's been around the game for a lot of years, and it'll be interesting to see, what he does with it when he gets his opportunity.
I'll say, if you are a shooter, and JJ gets a head coaching job, and you're a free agent, you better make your way over there, because you're gonna do that on a 1-year deal. You're gonna get a bag.
Remember, you don't got to be a baller to make ballsy moves. Pat, talk us through getting the call to do Space Jam. What was that like? What was that experience like?
Michael and I, we had the same agent, David Falk. So when they talked about doing the movie, of course, they brought me in, and I thought it was a great opportunity. We went out to LA. I think for our scenes, mine, Charles, Larry, Muggs, Sean Bradley, our scene, I think it took us about a month to do. So we was out there for a month. It was a lot of fun. We would play pickup ball after the shoot was over. We'd go out to dinner. We'd play pool, talk trash, talk about, everybody's career. Of course, Michael, he is one of the biggest trash talkers that, you ever had the opportunity to meet or play against. He was always riding Charles and myself that we hadn't won anything as yet. But no, it was a great experience. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the opportunity to be around those guys and learning from those guys, and just being around all those people that were in the movie, just learning that job.
Yeah,
it's funny today that more people know me from that movie than me being a player.
Yeah, I don't believe that one bit. Not at all.
Hey, look, I'll be coming through the airport and a little kid, aren't you the guy that was in Space Jam? They'll say, are you that great player? And, are you the guy that was in Space Jam?
It was a hell of
Great
a movie.
Yeah, I loved it. And I love doing it.
I still think the opening scene in the driveway with Mike and his dad is like one of the best intros to a movie ever.
Yes. You know, I still watch it with my younger kids and my grandkids even today.
That's dope.
It really is timeless.
Pat, you played in some of the, I won't say you played in, because you played for a long time, but in the 80s, 90s, 2000, what were some of the toughest opponents you played against?
Well, if you're talking about individually, you know, it's definitely, I came into the league, Kareem was still playing. Moses was still playing. They were, you know, at the tail end of their career. Robert Parrish used to kick my butt every time we played Boston. You know, then you have Akeem, you have David, you have Shaq. And those guys, you know, every time that you played against those guys, you definitely want to make sure that you perform at your best. You know, I've played in some great, in a great era where the big man was dominant. This era is a lot different from my era. The only two great big men in this era is Jokic and Embiid. But, you know, then if you're talking about teams, you know, definitely the Bulls. Definitely, you know, we had some great runs and rivalry against Miami and against Indiana. You know, it was a fun time. It was a great time, and you know, unfortunately we didn't win. We didn't win the big prize, which is the title. We lost to Houston. But it was still a lot of fun.
You just touched on the subject that I want to bring up, the eras, and talking about this era and then your era. Are you in that conversation? Like, what are your thoughts on the conversation when you think that guys can't play in this era or guys can't play back then? Like, what are your thoughts on where basketball has gone?
I think great players are going to be able to play in any eras. Yes, my era was more physical than this era, but even the era before my era was very physical. They used to take guys out of the air. I remember watching the Celtics and the Lakers in the playoffs. It's like a free for all. They changed basketball after we made the finals in 94. After we made it the champion, we lost to Houston. They changed the way that they wanted basketball to be called. They wanted to be more free flowing, not as physical. So they changed the rules to make sure that the scores are as high as they are now. You know, I think that you have guys that are, you know, the way that you play, you can play in any era. Steph, the way that Steph plays, LeBron, he is that type of an athlete. He's big, he's strong, he can finish. I don't care what era that you guys play in. I think that you guys will still be able to be dominant. You know, I think that, you know, there are other people who, they won't be as dominant as they are in this era, but I think that they have the ability to score. They have the ability to play defense. I think that they can play in any era.
Pat, do you feel like, I know we talked about eras and centers and everything. Do you feel like we'll ever see an era like that again with the true dominant back to the basket five? Or do you feel like that's too far gone, the cat's out of the bag? If you're a big man, you're shooting threes.
Well, I think that, you know, if I played in this era, I'd be shooting threes. I may not be shooting as many as Embiid or Jokic does, or the big young fellow from San Antonio. But that's three guys right there. That's gonna, you know, the first two are older than him, but he is. I love how he plays. I love the things that he can do, and I think that, you know, everything is cyclical. So I think it'll come back around. When you have guys that can, their size and can do the things that they can do, yes.
I have one other question. As someone who played during that era and also someone who's involved in the league in this era, what do you think are like the biggest differences between the way David Stern commissioned the league and the way that Adam Silver commissions the league?
I think they're similar in a lot of ways, but they're definitely different. David was much more disciplined. He was rigid. It was going to be this way or the highway. Adam, I think he definitely is more open to what the players. I think both of them have done an outstanding job of growing the game of basketball. You know, basketball is now a global sport. Look at the revenue that basketball is bringing in, the salaries that's being paid. You know, I think that they're different, but their job is to grow the game and to make it beneficial for not only the players but also the owners.
Big news to share today. We're excited to be partnering with Autograph, a fandom company co-founded by the GOAT himself, Tom Brady.
The new app, Autograph Fandom Rewarded, gives diehard fans like you a one-stop shop for all the best fan content on your favorite team. Obviously, the New York Knicks. And rewards for you simply doing what you're already doing as a fan, like reading Knicks blogs, listening to Knicks pods, engaging with Knicks-related social media posts, buying merch, and attending games.
For example, you can listen to the Roommates pod anywhere, but when you listen to us on the Autograph app, you earn coins. Those coins can be redeemed for amazing rewards, including $24 playoff tickets and A+ Knicks merch.
Download the Autograph app in the App Store or Google Play Store today for free and use referral code ROOMMATES. That's referral code ROOMMATES.
The Autograph app, where your fandom lives. See you at the Garden.
Obviously, it was a good playoffs so far. The Celtics dominated Indiana. Pat, how do you feel about the Wolves-Mavs series? Do you think Minnesota's figured it out how to win, or do you think it was, a gentleman way for Dallas to treat them?
It's hard to say. I thought that Minnesota was going to be the team that wins, that come out the West after beating Denver. Just the way that they played against Denver, just their size and their ability to shoot the three and get to the hole. But Dallas has done an outstanding job with Kyrie and Luka, the way that they play, and it's like a two-headed monster. Their ability to take over games. The games have been close, but once Dallas won those two games on Minnesota's home court, and then come back and win at home, tonight might be the last game. It'll be Dallas going against Boston.
Thoughts on Rudy Gobert being Defensive Player of the Year?
This is his third?
Fourth.
His fourth. I'm not sure who should have been Defensive Player of the Year. I think that he does a great job for them, anchoring their defense, clogging the paint up, blocking shots. I can't say one way or another if it's right or if it's wrong. There have been years when I thought I should have at least won a Defensive Player of the Year and never got it. But, I take my hat off to him and his success and, wish him nothing but the best.
Pat, obviously you being a big, right? Do you think you would have been getting cooked like this?
Hey, look, he's going against Luka, one of the best one-on-one guy. He had him on ice skate. I was talking to one of my friends about the exact same thing. And as a big, I would try to cushion him or get up on him and make him a driver at that point. I'd rather them hitting a two than a three. but he did the best job he could. I'm a politician today.
I think it's because of his feet, bro. Because he looks mad good. I think his feet just might be too big for him. I think. I
mean, he's what, 7'3", 7'2", right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were asking a man that big to be able to guard Luka. I mean, that's a tough situation to be in.
Very true.
I mean, like you said, anyone, whether it's a big or even a guard, if you're on an island against Luka, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I think the question is really like, should the criteria for Defensive Player of the Year change? Has it evolved with the rest of the game? Because it feels to me like the criteria is obviously the best shot blocker, shot alterer, clogger of the paint. And I think in like the 80s and 90s, that was obviously those were the dominant defensive players. Right. But it feels like, in my opinion, now we're shifting towards like can they guard 1 through 5? How versatile are they on defense? Like I think OG should be Defensive Player of the Year. That's obviously unbiased, but.
Well, of course, I love OG. I thought that, that was one of the best pickups that you guys made. Should he be a Defensive Player of the Year? I mean, I really don't know. I just know I love him for your team, and I love what he brings to your team, his ability to guard 1 through 5. And also, he doesn't need the ball to be effective, and he can make big shots.
Could OG guard you?
No.
Could Rudy Gobert guard you?
No. No.
I thought, where's the politician at? He left?
Hey, look, you asked. I'll be a politician when it was about the Defensive Player of the Year, but when it's about my abilities, of course, I'm going to. I believe in myself 100%.
Pat, who in today's NBA could do the best job on you defensively?
Well, when you look at there's those two guys, Embiid and Jokic. Those are the two best centers in the league right now. So it will definitely be a battle. I'd have to be able to guard them, and then they would have to also be able to guard me. So I think that those two guys will definitely be. It'll be a great matchup. So tell everybody, buy their tickets and get the popcorn ready, because we're gonna battle.
This episode is brought to you by Whoop.
Whoop is a 24/7 health and fitness wearable that tracks your daily activity like other wearables. But where it really shines is in its detailed breakdowns of your sleep, recovery, stress, and more to help provide you with personalized insights and feedback on your health.
I've been wearing Whoop for the last 4 years, and it's really helped me understand my recovery and sleep and make sure I'm prepared for when I need to be at my absolute best.
It's not just for professional athletes, though. I've also been wearing Whoop for about 3 or 4 years, and it really helps me stay on top of my health, get a deeper insight into my sleep. It's the first thing I check every morning. It gives you a recovery score based on your sleep and your body's vitals, and it acts as your daily guide for how much you should push yourself in your workouts.
Ooh, I was 93% recovered.
Mine was a 55.
Dang.
But see, that's because I'm pushing my body these days, and you're resting your body. Throughout the day, Whoop tracks every heartbeat and keeps you updated on the exertion and stress you're putting on your body. Then each night, Whoop will give you a suggested bedtime based on your day and how recovered you'd like to be the following day. Whoop can help track it all to show you the positives and negatives of your lifestyle.
Want to try it for yourself? Try Whoop for 1 month free on us and get your health journey started.
It says on the left is Randy Ewing, Patrick Ewing's daughter, holding a young Jalen Brunson. On the right is Randy right there for when Jalen checked in for his first ever All-Star appearance.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. Was that when we went to Jamaica? Or was that just...
Yes. That's when we went to Jamaica.
We went to Jamaica, yeah.
My other daughter, Corey, was there too, but you didn't see her.
Damn.
She was in that picture as well.
Damn, they cropped her out.
They cropped her out. I didn't crop her out. They cropped her out.
She gets no love. That's crazy.
Oh man. But yeah, this was really cool, I'm not gonna lie. Because I remember that trip vaguely, but I remember it. I was like 3.
It's funny that you still look the same.
Head's the same size.
Yeah, it still got the big old head.
Why? Like what? Like what do I do? What do I do to
Hey, big head. So Pat, we're going to get into some fan questions. So what we got first? Form _follows functions _ That's a terrible name. Big Pat all-time Hoyas lineup. Ooh, that's a good one. Who you got for your Georgetown all-time starting 5?
Of course, myself, Sleepy Floyd, AI, Reggie Williams, and I'm gonna put Alonzo at the 4.
Damn, Josh, I thought he was gonna say Reggie Cameron.
My man Reggie Cameron, man. Shout out to him. We got Ronnie _ David 18. Pat, which former Knicks teammate do you still talk to the most?
John Starks, and Herb Williams. Definitely those two.
SG212 MSG. What was Jalen like as a kid? And 1 to 10, how much of a troublemaker was he?
He was a great kid. Just like any other kids, he was having fun being in the locker room. Rick would bring him in the locker room. He'd be at the games. Just wanted to, dribble a basketball, be around all of us. And I think he's turned out to be a great kid, great player.
I don't know if I want to say, he's a nice guy.
I don't know about the trouble. I don't know about the trouble. You got to know about the troublemaker part.
Yeah. He's about a good 7. Just 7 out of 10. Would you ever consider being a head coach again, NBA or college?
Oh, definitely. Either one, NBA or college. I've worked extremely hard to get myself to be, 15, 16 years in the NBA to be a NBA head coach. Got the opportunity to be a head coach here at Georgetown. Like I said before, it didn't work out, but I still have the bug. I still have the joy, and I think I still have a lot in the tank to teach. And I've learned extremely well from, my era, this era, whichever era it is, to be able to relate to the players today.
Next one from Only One Hondro. What was it like watching this team with other Knicks greats this postseason, and what advice would you give this team going forward?
It was great watching this team. Only thing I want to say is to tell John Stark to sit his ass down. No, but seriously, it was great being there with all my teammates. I played with a lot of those guys that I would sit with: Spree, LJ, John, Marcus. All those I didn't play with Melo, but he was definitely one of the Knicks greats. But it was great sitting there with them. The atmosphere was remarkable. Just it brought back so many memories of when we were playing. And just, tell them to keep on, stop listening to outside noise and just keep on working, keep on grinding.
We had John on the pod a few episodes ago, and he was telling us about how he went to the game in Philly and he got in a fight with a Philly fan. And
he told me.
He was like, yeah, his wife was sitting right next to him, and I said something I shouldn't have. And
he told me all about that.
Yeah, that was one of the dope things about the postseason, just seeing all you guys greats, Knick legends being there, during the whole time, the whole postseason, and showing love to us, man. So that meant a lot for us, and we appreciate that. This segment is presented by Whoop, and for me, being here, I wanted to give y'all a little gist into my life, especially going into the playoffs when we had that week off. So for me, it was a good week of being able to try to recover, but also, put the right work in. So for me, just looking back at those days, that week in April, I had 64% recovery. I had one where I had 89%, where I had 7 hours and 18 minutes of sleep. And fortunately for me, we had time off, so I was able to get some work in. Got some shots up at 11:24 to 12:52. I was able to come back home, chill out, and then went back to the gym at 5:30 and finished at 6:47. And that night I got 8 hours of sleep. And the next day I got 77% recovery. So for me, it was cool being able to use Whoop, especially in that week of getting ready to get into the playoffs, to make sure I wasn't overexerting myself. I wasn't losing energy. I was getting proper sleep. I was still able to put in work and get ready physically and mentally for the playoffs. And I think going into the start of the playoffs, I was getting all three greens, 87%, 77%, and 77%. So for me, that's probably why I started the playoffs off pretty well, because I got good recovery and I was still able to put work in. If you're not in the NBA or professional athlete, Whoop is also very effective in seeing your recovery, seeing how you're able to best exert yourself or be able to exert yourself energy-wise for the day. And obviously, unfortunately, I'm not playing in the playoffs anymore. I'm at home. I'm chilling. I'm not doing too much. So just being able to focus on my sleep. I mean, yesterday I got 93% recovery. I had a beautiful 6 minutes and 54 minutes of sleep, and I had a nice 20-minute walk. And the day before that, I had a 70% recovery and 7 hours of sleep. So it's cool being able to see the difference of days where I'm in NBA mode, where I'm working out once or twice a day, and then I'm focused on my sleep. And then days where I'm not really doing anything too much physically, but I'm still able to get a good night's sleep and be able to get a good recovery, so I can make sure I have energy to, at least now, to run around with my kids. Feel like you just played 48 minutes of basketball? Maximize your recovery with Whoop for 1 month free on us. Head to join.whoop.com/roommates to get started. So everybody, we appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of The Roommates. Pat, obviously a blessing, and thank you so much for joining us on the show, and much love, my man.
No, I appreciate y'all having me, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what y'all do next year.